I call them.
High school?
Well, yeah, some kid from high school is like, oh, look at my fancy rims.
That's true. Aren't I special? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here it is. I'm Brian with New Car Spin. This is my friend Johnny.
Hi, how you doing?
And we are here to help you sort out whether you should get a Golf GTI or an Audi A3. Now, I have an Audi A3. Johnny has an Audi A3. But I also have the GTI today as a press car. So, Johnny, you rode with me in the GTI. Did you like it?
Loved it. I mean, the performance is there, the stability, the way it just loves to run the road hard. It's awesome.
And for 2018, they put the Golf R brakes on there. It's got 220 horsepower, just like the A3. It's pretty nice, right?
Absolutely.
And you know, being that it's the SE, comes in at 31,000 with a manual. That's the thing, right? So you can get it with a manual.
Oh yeah, and that's what I like. That was the first thing that I noticed when you open the door. It's like, this is a stick?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was almost like unheard of anymore, but it just makes it even that much more fun.
You can get it with a manual. It just makes it a no-brainer, right?
Absolutely.
But then we have the Golf R, which is the more insane version with all-wheel drive, which you can get in a stick. But for some people, it's a little too hardcore, right?
Yep.
And then it has all this tech on it, which doesn't make sense with a manual, like radar cruise with a manual. You can't use it in stop and go traffic because you got to put your foot on the clutch, right? So you have to get DSG. So if you're manual diehard like me, then you'd have to get the GTI, SE, or Autobahn, right?
Oh yeah.
But if you're really into like the autonomous driving, you know, like the radar cruise and all that kind of stuff, you have to get the A3.
You have to get it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Definitely.
I have an A3, but I like the Golf GTI. How about you?
I have an A3, but I like the Golf GTI because it has a manual shift. It just seems like it has a little bit wider wheelbase. I know it probably isn't wider than the A3, but it just gives that feel. And maybe it's because of that new front end.
Oh, the electronic.
There you go, that thing you were
the
talking
diff,
about.
yeah.
I could feel it when you drive it. You could just feel it, so it gives that feeling like it's just wider on the road and really hugging it.
Yeah, you can put your foot down, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter where or how much. It's doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, which is great. It's a safety feature. And
So
then
that's what it is.
and you like the interior too, right?
Interior styling is smart. The leather makes it even more so.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
all the way around. I give it an A+.
I mean, 2018 they put the sunroof on there. They got rid of the fender stereo that's only available in the Autobahn, but they have air vents in the back. The rear seats fold down. It's a lot like the Audi A3 in a way, except you get the hatch. So
That I haven't seen. I haven't seen the hatch yet.
if you are looking at an SUV, you don't need one. All you need is a Golf. You're gonna get better fuel economy out of the Golf anyway, right?
Absolutely. Seats fold down, so.
Yep, and a full size, well, at least a real spare, so you don't have run flats or anything. The A3 is the same way. You just get more car for the money at that point, compared to everything else I've driven in the last several months, right?
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah. If I may add something, can we open that again?
yeah,
One thing I noticed on your typical SUV, you don't have this lip.
yeah,
My girlfriend has an SUV, a Toyota 4Runner, and she didn't have a lip. Every time we open up the hatch, stuff falls out.
yeah.
It just falls out because there's
Bottles.
nothing to catch it.
All the wine
So,
bottles.
I like this little feature right here. Right.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
So-
stopgap.
Yeah, it's a stopgap.
Yeah.
I mean, without having to use a net.
Yeah, the Germans, man, they think of everything, you know. But some people complain it's not completely easy to load in or a flat floor or whatever. But I don't like things falling out when I open the trunk either.
No.
Yeah. But now let's talk about A3, because I haven't driven my A3 since November, right? I've been driving a lot of different cars since then. Just looking at it, I mean, I have an optional carbon fiber package on it. You look at it and you compare it to the Golf, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, you'd have to think the A3 is better looking.
Styling is definitely smarter. It pops more.
Yeah.
It almost gives it like a sport executive look, where this is just a sport look.
Yeah, it's sort of looking more like the Golf R, but I don't like those wheels at all.
No.
And those are the standard wheels, whereas on the A3 these are the optional sport package wheels. But you know, there's a huge price difference between these two. But if you didn't get the Prestige or the carbon fiber craziness, you'd still kind of be almost at the Golf GTI Autobahn price. The only difference is you'd get a manual. So that's the big question. Would you go for the manual just because? Or would you think more or less?
I would go for the manual just because, but also if that's the price point that I'm looking for, because it's perfect. It's for those people that are price conscious and want all of these features, but don't want to spend that extra 10, 12 grand. That's the one to go for.
I think you're right.
So, absolutely.
But if money is no object, or let's just say your budget's like 40, or it doesn't even matter. Let's just say you don't care about your car payment because it's $100 is $100.
Right.
So, would you still go for the GTI?
Absolutely not. I'd definitely go with the A3.
You would?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'd even choose that before I'd choose like a BMW 3 Series. I just like the styling much better.
Well, that's what I did.
Absolutely.
But okay, so I'm in the same camp as you, right? As A3 owners.
Mm-hmm.
And then having been in the GTI, any buyer's remorse getting the A3 over the GTI?
That's a tough one because it is a fun little car. No, absolutely not.
Same here.
Absolutely not.
I think the best way to explain it is if you want a VW or an Audi, but you've never had either, but you want a sporty car, and you don't care whether it's a manual or not, still get the GTI. Start with the GTI.
Start with the GTI.
And then go a year or 2 or 3 or 5, whatever, and then go to an A3. But know that when you go that route, no manual, but you can get pretty much the same tech as you would in an Autobahn version of that Golf.
And that's no manual because they don't offer it anymore. Is that correct?
No A3 manuals.
No A3 manuals.
Just DSG. Same DSG. So
Okay.
it's pretty much the same engine, same transmission, and then the Quattro in this one is the same as the 4Motion in the Golf, whereas it's front wheel biased and then it sends power to the rear. Whereas in the Golf, it's front wheel, but it sends power left and right up to 100%. So that tracks very well. This is obviously a different experience, but they're both very good experiences. It really comes down to money.
Yeah, it comes down to money.
Yeah, and even if you could afford that, you should consider this GTI. Yeah.
You know, back to that front wheel drive. I've had a Jetta, a couple of Jettas, and they're strictly front wheel. I've had other front wheel drive cars, and not at the sport level, but they didn't drive this way. So that technology really enhances that driving experience, and it's amazing. So I'm sure when people do drive it, they're going to say like, "Wow, this just doesn't feel like a front wheel drive car."
Yeah, that's true. And I know you're a professional driver because you're sponsored by Titleist and Partagas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're sponsored more than I am.
That's
Well,
great.
So anything else you want to add?
No, not really. I will say that the styling on the Golf is really good. Again, it's smart styling. They are seeming like they're getting a little bit too boxy for my taste, and kind of resembling, you know, the crowd or the herd, whereas Audi just tends to kind of just stand out. In fact, other people are copying Audi. I think I've seen Hyundai. I've seen some brand new Hyundais on the Hyundai lot, and they're starting to resemble the same front grille.
The grill, yeah.
And things like that, and you got to take a double take sometimes going down the highway. It's like, oh, look at that awesome Audi coming, and nope, it's a Hyundai.
Yep.
So.
But that Golf look is classic. That's iconic. You know that back end there. I mean, that big fat C-pillar. Nothing will come close to that.
No.
You can't mimic that. And that's the look. They've always had that. As far as the Audis, though, they kind of just evolve, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad I have the A3. You know, I don't regret it. But when you get into golf, it's a different smile.
Yeah.
It's a different smile on the face.
It's a smile and a giggle.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
It's like, wow, you're really surprised.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the
shocker. It's a shocker. Well, there you go. There it is. The A3 versus GTI. I couldn't make up my mind either, really. You know, it's just go for either one. Just pull the trigger and do it. Write the check. Sign on the line.
Do it.
Yeah, I would just do it.
You won't regret it.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you have your opinion, or if you have any questions or comments, please let me know below the video here, and also be sure to like and subscribe and share this video, because it's a tough choice, but I'm here to help you. Do either one. Thanks for watching.